Hey, this is Ronnie Payne, and you're listening to the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast.
Canadian strong, maritime proud. Hear the roar of the fans, feel the crowd. Every slam, every fight, every story we shout. Legends are born, there's no doubt. From Halifax rings to PI lights, the action is heavy, the energy ignites. Feel the thrill, it's gonna be a blast. Welcome to the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast. I almost said beau séjour there.
Nice.
That's my first time almost doing that. That means I've commentated too much this weekend. The band is back together, all four on the podcast. Jason is back. How you feeling?
Like I got hit by a truck, and it has nothing to do with my hospital stay. I have got a head cold.
Yeah, I'm not laughing at you. It's just you sound terrible.
Yeah, if I didn't have any bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. So
that's when you know you got good friends quoting me.
Yeah.
Mark is with us as well.
Holy moly.
What a goalie.
And the proprietor of the Unofficial beau séjour Senior Hockey League podcast, the big boss himself, Corey Robichaud.
That is me.
That is you. Big playoff weekend for us.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you guys had a big weekend this weekend.
Yeah, we had a blast.
We are Tuesday and we are still tired.
We covered 4 games. Very proud of the job we did. Corey killed it. Commentating. Just unreal, man. If you're not a hockey person, get out to a beau séjour Senior Hockey League playoff game. You will not be disappointed. It's a really good time. So
I concur, and if you are away and you are not able to go see any games, the beau séjour Senior Hockey League podcast YouTube channel, K Sports Live, Roxanne Young, Maureen for Dalhousie. I did some commentary for both K Sports and Corey this weekend. And one of these days, not anytime soon, but one of these days, I'd like to do my professional wrestling commentary debut. So putting that out in the universe, not anytime soon though. A little busy right now. We got no shows coming up this weekend, to the best of our knowledge anyway. So we decided to do... No. We've decided to do something a little interesting here with the news of the Leo Burke Cup. We decided that we were going to talk about all 7 Maritime Cups, the OG Cup here in the Maritimes. And what better way than to start off with Maritime Cup 3, right? Nah, we're going to go with the first one.
It's like, what are we talking about now?
Brawl at Alma Hall.
Brawl at Alma Hall, there you go. Maritime Cup 1 was in 2003, I believe. Participants were Duke McIsaac, Scott Savage, Sonny Rosselli, Gary Williams, Tony Armstrong, Lincoln Steen. The finals was the natural Bobby Roode of TNA and WWE fame, becoming the first ever Maritime Cup champion, beating Cowboy Mike Hughes. We've talked with New Scott about this before. There's the story of Cowboy Mike Hughes telling New Scott, "I'm not telling you what to do, but might be in your best interest to put Bobby Roode over." And he was correct. Like, that's a hell of a launching pad for the Maritime Cup.
Oh, 100% for sure.
The best.
Bobby Roode at the time was pretty much a Maritime OG. Corey, I know you saw a lot of real action wrestling during that time, and some Grand Prix. I've seen some Grand Prix when I was a kid. Jason, you probably did too, around 99. Yeah. Bobby Roode winning the first cup, how important was it for the Maritimes to have Bobby Roode and for him to be the first Maritime Cup champion?
Twofold. Important for the Maritimes to have Bobby Roode, and important for Bobby Roode at that time to have the Maritimes. Real Action Wrestling was one of the olden companies at that point in Canada, running that many days a week. They'd be doing shows in Cocaine and just random places. So they were a very busy promotion. I did see them a couple times in New Brunswick. I was a little bit young back then, but Bobby being here and really launching his career in the Maritimes and getting so much work under his belt in the Maritimes. Watching his rise, I mean, Mike Hughes couldn't have been more right about that one. He was the right person to put the cup on. It legitimized it, and watching his rise through the professional ranks has been a treat, man.
Yeah, for sure. It really, it just goes to show the insight of guys like Mike Hughes as well to know what trajectory Bobby was going to have. Because he was still young at the time, you know what I mean? He could have gone anywheres or not gone anywheres, right? Who knows? I mean, they all saw the potential, so it's cool that they saw that insight way ahead of his career. So.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, Bobby Roode had a dark match with some other Maritime guys back then with the WWF, so any one of them could have made it.
Around 2002, Absolutely. I believe it was, with Cowboy Mike Hughes might have been there. I know Peter Smith was there, Brody Steele. I think, was it Flesh Gordon or something like that? I think he was there as well.
Flesh Gordon? Does this predate Flash Gordon?
No.
No.
He was an Ontario wrestler. Very much, the first time I saw him, I thought Scott Steiner. Blonde hair, goatee, Superman logo on his trunks. It was Scott Steiner, but he was Flesh Gordon.
So if you look up on YouTube, you can find Billy Kidman and Tommy Dreamer against Bobby Roode and Kingman. I believe there's some other stuff if you really look hard. But he had some dark matches between late 90s through 2003-ish. So, any one of them could have made that break. But, man, Mike could just sense that talent, I think, and he was right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Especially coming from this area, not everybody's... Well, not coming from this area, but, being a performer in this area. Sometimes it depends how much drive they have to really make that move as well. Do I want to go forward? And not everybody
gotta sacrifice a lot, man.
Yeah
It's
a commitment for sure. That was Maritime Cup 1, which was quite the launching pad. A few years later, we would get the Maritime Cup 2, and in researching this, I noticed something. That after Maritime Cup 1, I think New Scott just did the Maritime Cup, and there was no promotion with it. It was just the Maritime Cup. Going forward, it's New Scott with a specific promotion, but it's never the same promotion. Maritime Cup 2 happened in East Coast Pro Wrestling, ECPW. And the finals would be to crown the first ever ECPW heavyweight champion. Participants were Trash Canyon, Gary Williams, Scott Savage, and the finals would see Kingman, or Brody Steele as he's most well known, beat Duke McIsaac to become the first ever ECPW heavyweight champion. You think of the history of ECPW, a championship belt that's still in existence today. And the fact that it's top 2 or 3 belts in the Maritimes right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And the fact that it started with the Maritime Cup is pretty cool. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. And I mean, we talk about prestige a lot. And to not only have it be the heavyweight title as well as the Maritime Cup puts that extra oomph to the title. And I mean, who better to give it to than Kingman? He was a force to be reckoned with back then. He was massive, you know what I mean? He looked like a champion, so it's the perfect place to put the title.
This was a big night of wrestling. If you look at the card, there was 10 matches this night, including a singles match before the qualifiers. There was 5 qualifying matches, first round matches, semifinal, and then a final. It kind of, you don't see a card that's that deep frequently in the Maritimes, so
especially that stacked as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the names here, and there's guys that I'm not really familiar with that I've heard.
You don't know Cinder?
No, No,
Right?
I've heard. I think
Yeah.
it was maybe Gary Williams that mentioned Cinder
Yeah, Cinder was around back in that
Yeah.
on
period.
the interview.
But there's a lot of guys on this, man. I miss Tony
Trash
Armstrong. I'll tell you that
Canyon,
much.
Scott Savage, like those guys keep coming. Like
Yeah.
pretty much in all of these conversations, right?
They were kind of the glue that kept maritime wrestling afloat at that time, along with someone like New Scott. Trash Canyon, I don't think ever got the respect that he deserved in wrestling. I think he's like the forgotten sinner. You know, when it comes to the Cardinal Sinners like Cowboy Mike Hughes, Brody Steele, you remember them. Those are legends. The hardcores remember Trash Canyon, but a lot more people should remember Trash Canyon because he was as important as anybody else on that team.
Yeah.
Maritime Cup 3 would happen in, I believe, the late 2000s, and this would be wrestling with reality. Later on, wrestling reality that would be on the Fight
It
Network.
was in 06.
06.
And if you look at the timeline of the Wrestling with Reality shows, the one that I went to was in May of 2007. So this was a precursor to those TV tapings that ended up
Yes.
happening. And discussing where those shows were. Sorry to go off topic here a little bit, but
I'll go for it.
the Wrestling with Reality stuff was just like randomly. It was in Kentville, which was normal. There was a show in Moncton at the O2, which was a different location, but Moncton
Yeah.
had a good wrestling scene. There was a show in St. John, New Brunswick, a show in Sussex. There was a show at the Casey Irving Arena in Bathurst, New Brunswick, and then there was a show in Halifax. In St. John, they had their show at the Lord Beaverbrook Rink. It's just very interesting to me that they brought this tour to a little town in northern New Brunswick. And back then, St. John really didn't get a ton of wrestling.
No.
So, very interesting tour. I think one of the reasons they did St. John back then, and we can go off on this tangent, another one, sorry, but Greg Hemmings recorded that show, and he's from St. John. So I think there was some connection there. But this predated wrestling reality.
Yeah. And that was really the big show. Like, once that took off, around the same time IHW is, finding their footing. But for this show, the participants for the third Maritime Cup was Sidewinder, who would later on be Nick Teeth, Lincoln Steen, Jason Holiday, Mr. Suave, Joshua Arrow, who would later on be Marcus Burke, Zero, who would later on be Leon Wolf, Tommy Osborne, Tony Armstrong, Vinny Glide, Chris Madison, who later on would become
Wayne Jugs.
There you go. The finals would see Titus beat Julian Young and Marco Estrada to become the third Maritime Cup winner. And at that point in time, Titus was the prospect in the Maritimes.
100%.
And the matchup, too. Like, you were a year in on the whole Titus and Julian Young thing.
Yeah.
And, you add in Marco Estrada, and he's, not really the odd man out, because, obviously he fits in anytime, anywhere, but, man, crazy.
And you look at this card here. You said it was 2006, right, Corey?
Yeah.
So the main event that night was not for the Maritime Cup. The main event that night was to crown the first ever Wrestling with Reality heavyweight champion. And it's Wildman Gary Williams beating Bobby Roode. So Bobby Roode at this point in time was established in TNA. He had been a tag team champion with Eric Young with Team Canada. So the fact that he came back to the Maritimes while he was a big star in TNA shows how much he was a fan of the Maritimes right there.
Yeah, if you want to compare anything to today, Bobby Roode was to the Cody Deaner of today.
Yeah, Cody Deaner and
As far as
Robbie McAllister.
Yeah, coming to the Maritimes, establishing themselves, and enjoying and being here. Those guys are helping push the Maritime scene, helping get more eyeballs on the guys that are here.
Yeah. And, Wrestling Reality, before we move on to Maritime Cup 4, it's sort of a what if, because, it was on TV. It was interesting. By the time they went on TV, it was part wrestling show, part reality show, part shoot interview. And anytime I talk to somebody about this, they're like, I don't understand. There was 6 wrestling shows. There was 6 reality shows where you see them behind the scene. And there was also 6 shoot interview where they're talking with the wrestlers for 10 minutes each. I think there were 2 wrestlers per shoot interview. And, that's where I first saw a lot of these guys, like Lincoln Steen and Trash Canyon, Titus, Julian, Sidewinder. I had seen Cowboy Mike Hughes and Brody Steele in Grand Prix. Brody Steele was the Mighty Hercules at the time. But, it is a big what if, because, you're on the Fight Network. Like, I remember in the mid-2000s, that was the shit. That's where you went to see, non-WWE wrestling. They had Japanese stuff. They had everything on the Fight Network. And, the Fight Network isn't what it used to be. But time makes fools of us all, right?
Yeah, time changes. Social media's killed a lot of TV stuff, so.
That's true. Maritime Cup 4 would be hosted by Red Rock Wrestling. Our participants would be Lincoln Steen, Titus, Riddick Stone, Alexander Saint, now known as Narcissus Saint, and the finals would see the Big Picture Chris Cook beat Mystique. The only name that's what I was about to say, the only name I don't recognize is Mystique.
Mystique ended up becoming Steve Arsenault.
Get out!
Oh,
I didn't know that at all.
Mystique and Steve Arsenault are one and the same, so.
Holy
That
jeez.
is
Somebody
crazy.
actually stumped Corey on a wrestling question. There.
Yes!
It was,
Thank you! I wish it would have been something on IHW, but I suppose in some ways it is.
Oh man, I was hoping it was Mystique from the X-Men. I would have watched.
That's what I thought immediately.
No, it wasn't that good.
Damn,
That would have been way cooler.
Yeah.
we'd watch it
Cook
again.
wrestling against himself.
So this one took place in 2010. You look
Stratford PEI at the
There you go.
Stratford Town Hall.
at
September
Corey with the facts.
24th, to be exact.
To be specific, huh?
That's right.
Chris Cook right there, you see Bobby Roode, Kingman, already established. Titus, that's the next guy on the rise. Chris Cook is the next guy on the rise by this point in time. I think later on... No, I believe at this point in time, he's already IHW heavyweight champion. So,
Possibly.
I think
I
that would
think
make
he is.
sense, based on the
I think so.
conversations we had.
yeah.
2010 or 2011, I remember.
He was champion by 2011. I believe he won it in 2010. Yeah, because Titus won the belt in May from Julian, and they had that year-long feud. And the next month, so it would have been June, Chris Cook would have won his first IHW championship.
It's already 3 months in.
And he also was the UCW Tag Team Champions at that time at Sexton Phoenix.
Who might that be?
And who became...
Go ahead, Mark. I'll let you take that one.
The American Patriot.
I was thinking the exact same fucking thing. Was thinking he's going to say the American Patriot. It's Troy Merrick.
Sexton Phoenix. Caw.
Caw. Yeah, Red Rock getting this one is interesting. Because Red Rock is maybe a year old at this point in time. I think they had 3 shows in 2009. This was their debut year in 2009.
Question.
So
though.
it's a... Yeah?
Was this always Mike Hughes?
Yeah.
His promotion? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, Mike Hughes is from the... I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I believe this is the first ever PEI exclusive promotion. Spoiler alert for this Friday, History of Maritime Wrestling, episode 13, I believe it is on the early days of Red Rock Wrestling. So tune in on Friday at 6.
Yes, sir.
But it's important for them to get that. Like, that's a hook for a new promotion. Like, IHW at this point is established. UCW, still relatively new. Like, I think it might have started 2008 or whatever. Red Rock on the island, it's smaller. And, smaller community, and they gravitate towards that. So, and to have the Maritime Cup there, it's pretty cool.
Oh, 100% for sure. And it almost seems like the Maritime Cup seemed to be close to the beginning of a promotion, like even with...
Or the start of something new.
Yeah, like ECPW was pretty close to the start of its promotion. Wrestling with Reality, same thing here. Red Rock's just getting off the ground as well, so it's like that added like little oomph to help get the promotion off the ground, which is really cool.
That's the word of the day today. Oomph.
Oomph, that's right.
Let's use it more then.
Yes.
So after, I think they took a number of years off, because this was 2010, and I believe the next one is 2019. So yeah, we have quite a while after that. Maritime Cup 5 is the first and only women's only Maritime Cup and this was for IHW. And once again, it's to crown a first ever champion. This would be for the IHW Maritime Women's Championship, not to be confused.
One of these participants used to freak me the F out.
I'm going to get to her in a minute.
My God.
This is not to be confused with Ronnie Payne's current IHW Women's Championship, 2 different belts. So the participants were Corey's favorite, Wraith.
Ugh.
Do you want to explain who Wraith is, Corey?
It was Lila Dare, right?
No, I don't think so. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
Pull double duty then.
Wraith is creepy as hell. He used to come out like walking backwards.
Spider walk.
Man, listen.
My word.
She used to creep me out, but she was a good worker.
Yeah, she wore a mask. I recommend anybody go on YouTube. New Scott has to have some match with Wraith.
Yeah, it is Lila Dare. I just looked it up.
It is?
Yeah.
So she pulled double duty here, because other participants, Chantal, Beautiful Bia, Jasmine Hawks, Casey Spinelli, Lila Dare.
I'm just saying that I've stumped Corey twice in this episode. If my mic wasn't attached to this arm, I'd drop it.
And the finals for the IHW Women's Maritime Championship, Madison Miles beat Soraya Knight. Not Paige, not the WWE and AEW wrestler, but her mother.
Yeah.
So she came down, and it's around that time that the Paige movie was coming out. Was it Wrestling with My Family or Fighting with My Family?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
So
I think it was Fighting, but yeah.
I believe they did you pay for the show and you also pay for a screening of the movie. Like there was something like that, and Soraya would answer questions or whatever. But Madison Miles, another one, an up and coming star at the time, she becomes the first and only IHW Maritime's Women Champion. The IHW did the old hand-me-down title. So the third version of the IHW heavyweight title, when they got a new belt made, they used the third version to create the Maritime Women's title. And it was the Maritime belt of choice during the 2010s. Red Rock Wrestling still has that as their heavyweight title. IHW had it as their title. UCW had it as their title. ECPW, NWE, CAW, when they were around, they had that as their title. That became the Maritime Women's title. Madison Miles defended this title. She was also a British Women's Champion at the time. This was really trying to bring Maritime Women's Wrestling to the forefront. And there's still a long ways to go even in 2026. But how important was this? The women get the Maritime Cup. That's an honor right there.
Oh, for sure. It's, like you say, it's to try and bring it to the forefront, to try and, show the people of show the women of the Maritimes that if they want to do it, they can do it. Step up, get trained. You know what I mean? Hopefully, grow the division. Unfortunately, it's not as big as it should be. I know that right now there's a lot of role models in the female division right now, so hopefully that can produce some more females to step up and start training. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kaizen has a new female in training, and I know that the River Valley Athletic Club has a new female in training as well.
We need more women in wrestling in the Maritime, so train up, get in the ring, and we'll feature you on this podcast.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
We'll give you a little bit more oomph.
Yeah, we'll give it some oomph. You know what goes oomph? You ever see, we were talking about the crab walk earlier, how in Family Guy there was a Lindsay Lohan segment where she was doing the crab walk. She'd appear in the episodes. Maybe she was she was doing like Wraith.
Maybe. I didn't know Wraith was Lila Dare. Bye, Corey.
A lot of things you didn't know.
Yeah, I need to get on my game. The 6th Maritime Cup would be held in UCW. Our participants would be the Big Picture Chris Cook, JP Sims, Andre Myatt, Thad Howitt, Max Powers, and the finals would be Charlie Hubley beating Hollywood Cole, Lincoln Steen, and Moon Miss.
That's different.
Again, Charlie Hubley, and like it's not guaranteed that it's like 8 people and then the 2 final meet in the end. You know, some are fatal 4-way matches, some are triple threats. This one, the power of Charlie Hubley in the early 2020s was unreal. You have to see it to believe it. Just his charisma, his fearless. I still think of that dive off the balcony where he just barely caught the ladder. Fearless. Thoughts on him winning the 6th Maritime Cup?
Well, I mean, he was already a star at that point, and it helped boost him a little further. Like you say, he had the charisma. His voice is... everybody thought that voice was something that he was putting on. No, that's his actual voice. Yep. It's gruff and rough, and I mean, he was the ultimate heel. He played the character well. You know what I mean? One of the most humble guys ever off stage. But he knew what he was doing. Like it's fantastic that he was given that push for sure.
I think what's really interesting here, up to now when we've looked at all the finals, at least the finals, where there's always at least 1 or 2 different performers that have really been elevated, kind of, let's say, within the next year. And you see one of those names there, Cole Trafford. Who's Cole Trafford? Hollywood Cole.
Yeah.
Within the next year, this is in 2022, 2023, he was teaming up with Charlie Hubley, and they were legit. And, they were already.
I'm not sure. I think 2023 he won his first UCW heavyweight title.
It's
It'd
possible.
be close as heck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this one, to me, I see that and I just get sad because I really miss Charlie Hubley. Like, he's someone that the Maritimes lost, and no one's filled that void yet. I think Hollywood Cole, he didn't fill Charlie's, the void that was missed by Charlie. He just became his own guy. Hollywood Cole is a top name in the Maritimes. He's a made man in the Maritimes.
There we go. Corey's not here to tell you otherwise. He's a made man. He's a made man, Corey.
He's over Gabagool.
Stop watching The Sopranos.
No, that's sacrilege right there. Watch more Sopranos.
Well, you can watch it once and just,
I swear I'm on my 7th viewing.
Bada bing, bada boom. Forget about it.
Yeah, sure. Some of the names, just in this tournament, Moon Miss is one that is also no longer in the Maritimes. They
Oh, she's in the Maritimes, but they're just not wrestling.
Yeah, they just not wrestling right now. Lincoln Steen, never won it, but is always a familiar face in these tournaments. And Hollywood Cole making it to the finals, just a few years later. Or maybe the following year, or 2 years later.
Following year, he becomes actually in October 2022, he becomes a UC heavyweight champion. And then 2023, UC Atlantic Canadian champion twice. And then it just takes off from there.
He won so let's just jump into the 7th, and as of this recording, so anybody listening in the future, as of this recording, the final Maritime Cup happened in Pro Wrestling Unleashed, and this would be for the vacant PWU heavyweight title. Participants were Dayton Cameron, Anthony Deuce Harlem, Jonathan Cross, Joey White, Justin Newhook, and the finals would see Hollywood Cole beat Ethan Knight, Lincoln Steen, Rudy Lockhart, and Wayne Jugs. Lincoln Steen, once again, he must have the record for most Maritime Cups appearances.
Yeah, I would assume so. He's a staple of Maritime wrestling. I think we just started his 26th anniversary or 26th year in wrestling, so he's been a staple since day one. He is best friends with New Scott, so it just makes sense to have somebody with his pedigree and his experience to help run these shows. So
I'm just taking a look right now. He's in 5 of the 7.
Oh, there you go.
And I believe he might have been in a qualifying match for one of them and didn't make it straight to the finals. But the only one he really missed was the all-women's one. So Lincoln Steen...
I wonder why.
Should have been.
He could have went by Linkina.
Linkina Stina.
There you go, right?
Stina,
there you go. You got a lot of current wrestlers. Like, this was 2024?
Yeah.
So, this is just not even 2 years ago, really. You got a lot of those names that are still there right now. Dayton Cameron, not really wrestling anymore, but might see him in the future. Anthony Deuce Harlem, he's still there. Jonathan Cross, Joey White, Max Power, Ronnie Payne, JP Sims, Justin Newhook. All big names right now in the Maritimes. The finals, the only one that's really retired is Wayne Jugs.
Yeah.
Hollywood Cole getting the win. There's a picture, I knew the day Maritime Cup was happening, and the spoiler was Hollywood Cole sitting in a chair, the cup on his leg, and the belt on his shoulder. That's the picture I remember the most.
Yeah.
What did this do for Hollywood Cole's career? Because since Corey's here now, I might as well say it. He's a made man in the Maritimes.
I agree.
That's it.
That's it. Bada boom.
You don't got to say much when you know the guy's right. What are you going to do?
There you go.
Yeah, I think right around this time, he started winning title after title, because I'm pretty sure he started 2025 or just barely into 2025 with 4 titles around his waist. So
yeah,
that's right.
He kind of started to show other guys in the Maritimes that, you know what I mean, if you put the work in, the titles and the respect is going to come. It happened to him first, and then it kind of moved over to Rudy at this point. So yep. I think there's going to be another one in 2026 that's going to be holding multiple titles by the end of the year. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, it's just fun to watch Cole's development from day one when he first started with Legit to where he is now, night and day. Yeah. For the love of God, I hope he makes it somewhere someday soon, because he deserves it.
Yeah, I agree. Mark, what do you have to say about that?
Well, there was one thing that I was looking up in the meantime as well, and like we were having a conversation about Cole winning the UCW Heavyweight Championship. Just to kind of give a little bit of a timeline, so the Maritime Cup that was the UCW Maritime Cup was in April 2022, and then Cole won his UCW Heavyweight Championship in October 2022 as Hollywood Cole.
Yeah.
Yes, Cole Trafford. So still is Cole Trafford.
Well, here's the thing. It's cage match. Cage match isn't always right. He's been Hollywood Cole since at least 2021. So I think he started out as Cole Trafford, but I think he was Hollywood Cole.
Right.
The first time I saw him, he was Hollywood Cole.
He didn't stay under his own name very long, that's for sure.
The cage match keeps him as Cole Trafford, but Hollywood Cole is how we remember him, and that's how we love Hollywood Cole.
Absolutely.
Hollywood.
Mark is a mark. So yeah,
What?
that was
AI.
the Maritime Cup 1 through 7. I could be wrong. I don't think we have any shows this weekend. If we do, we'll cover them next week. Big thank you to Ronnie Payne for the intro this week. And anything else, gentlemen, before we call it a day?
That's all I got.
I hate being sick.
I feel your pain. Mark?
Was that a pun? I feel your pain. P-A-Y-N-E. Pain.
Yeah. I feel your Ronnie Payne.
That was meant to happen, right?
That was
right.
Sure. I am that clever.
Yeah, he was just giving it that little oomph at the end of the episode.
Oomph!
Yeah, he's a made man. Corey's a made man.
Made man. Oomph! We'll see you all in 7 days. Until then, take care, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast. We drop new episodes every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Atlantic Time, so make sure to join us each week. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, and also listen to the episodes and interviews on all your favorite podcast platforms, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. And if you want to support us even further, grab one of our t-shirts over at Pro Wrestling Tees. Just scan the QR code to get yours. Until next time, thanks for listening and supporting Maritime Wrestling.